everyone, Fran here. I popped this video together to help you organise your folders for A-level history. This is a video that you should keep coming back to again and again at any point where you are organising your folder to make sure you're putting everything where it belongs. So I'm going to start off with the very basics that will cover how many folders you need and what those folders are for. So in short, you are going to want 3 folders for A-level history. 2 of those need to be what we call lever arch folders. I'll show you an image of one on the next slide. And then you are going to have one smaller folder and you're going to have a little bit of range in terms of what that smaller folder looks like. So one of your lever arch folders is going to be for all of your Tudor notes, and this folder is going to be one that you are putting your notes into for the 2 years that you are with us. And that is why it needs to be quite a big folder. Lever arch folders are not only quite wide folders, but if you look in the bottom left of the image, on this slide there is sort of a little gadget, I'm not entirely sure what you call it, which kind of goes over the 2 ring binds and allow you to hold your notes in place. Now if you're in first year, your folder will feel very small in that you won't have many notes inside of it at this point. However, as you go through the 2 years, that folder is going to get bigger and bigger, and by the end of the second year you will realise why we've asked you to get this sort of folder. Second lever arch folder is for the America course, works in the exact same way. You're going to put your notes in that folder for the 2 years so that at the end of the course you have got an America folder with all of your notes in it. Finally, you're going to have a smaller folder. I would recommend having just a little ring bind folder. You'll notice these folders are a lot smaller. They don't have the gadget that goes over the ring binds to close it. And this is going to be one you bring every day, and we will be checking that in lessons you have got this folder with you. So now that I've gone over the very basics of how many folders you need and roughly what those folders are for, I'm going to run through how to organise each of those 3 folders. So in terms of the Tudor folder then, the first thing you need to know is that you are going to need file dividers. And in total you are going to need 5. The first file divider is going to be for Henry VII, the second for Henry VIII, third for Edward, fourth for Mary, and fifth for Elizabeth. So they are the paper file dividers that you can put into your folder to make sure that your notes on each monarch are separated from each other. From there, what I would recommend is getting 6 plastic wallets for every monarch. So that's 30 in total. Each plastic wallet is going to represent one of the key questions of the course. And if you're not sure what those 6 key questions are, they will be on the front of your knowledge organisers, or alternatively you can just ask your teacher. If you just put paper that's hole punched straight into your folder, the chances are it won't last for 2 years. We've had many instances where paper starts falling out just because of wear and tear. It's not necessarily that you've not looked after your folder. So we do recommend having plastic wallets, and having, again, just 1 per key question is enough, so that all of your notes are then divided not only by monarch but by the different themes and key questions that occur in the course, and that should make revision a lot easier. Bonus points, we would recommend having white sticky labels in the top sort of right hand corner of every plastic wallet, just so you've labelled what plastic wallet represents what. Again, that should just make it a little bit more organised and a lot easier for you to use later down the line. America's going to work on the exact same premise. We're going to start with file dividers. You're going to need 6 for America. There are 3 AS topics that we do: circa 1845, 1845 to 54, and 1854 to 61. And then in second year we have the war, early reconstruction, radical reconstruction. So again, paper file dividers to divide the course out into those 6 sections. And then again, I would have plastic wallets in each area to collate your notes by topic. America doesn't have key questions in the same way that Tudor's does. There are generally between 3 and 4 plastic wallets that you need for each topic. So if I was you, I'd just put 4 plastic wallets after each file divider, and then you know for definite you're going to be absolutely fine. Again, bonus points, I'd have sticky labels in the top right of each plastic wallet, and as we go through, label those plastic wallets so that you know what content is in what section of your folder. Finally then is how to organise your everyday folder. The first thing that needs to be in your everyday folder is your history planner. That is the document we gave you at the beginning of the year. It's got a yellow cover, but then inside the paper is white. And that document helps you organise your time whilst you're with us on the course. So you need to have that with you every lesson. Secondly, we want all of your knowledge organisers in here. So they are the coloured handouts we give you in lesson that have all of the course information inside of them. The reason we ask for you to have all of these in your everyday folder is if we do any revision in lesson, you can go back into your notes without having to bring everything you've ever done with you. So that's the reason why we ask for those to be in your everyday folder. And finally, you need to put your homework in that folder that you need for the relevant lesson. Please don't put your homework in there and then leave it and let your homeworks build and build and build. The idea is you bring your everyday folder with the homework you need for that lesson, do the lesson, then when you go home, you take that homework back out of the everyday folder and put it into your Tudor or America folder with the class notes relevant. So homework, we just mean the homework for the lesson in question. Top tip, I would have some lined paper in there as backup. There's always the lesson where you run out of lined paper, so having just a bit of a stash in there will prevent any issues there. So now that I've run through the folders and how they need to be organised, I'm just going to give you some final advice in terms of organising your folder. In history then, we have 2 weeks of Tudor lessons followed by 2 weeks of America lessons, and alternate as we go throughout the year. What we recommend is when you have finished 2 weeks of a topic, so you've done your final Tudor lesson and you know that your next lesson is going to swap to America, at that point is when we recommend taking any notes you have made in class out of any notepad you're writing in and transfer it into your folder. That should be the crossover point. If you do it at the end of every individual lesson, whilst that will feel very organised, there's just a chance that when you go into that next Tudor lesson, we may ask for some notes from the previous lesson. So our advice is when you hit that crossover point between Tudors in America or America and Tudors, that is the time when to take all of your notes out of your notepad and transfer it into your folder. Final but most important note is if there is anything when it comes to folder organisation that you are not sure of, please email your teacher. Ask us where pieces of paper go. If you've kind of left it a little while and your paper's built up over time, there may be some pieces of paper where you just don't know where it goes. So anything about notes, where to put them, how to organise them, either drop us an email or ask us in class.
Huge thank you to Fran for that one. A really great video showing you how to get yourselves organised. If you're doing the modern course rather than the early modern course, then simply substitute Russia for the Tudors and modern Britain for the USA unit, and the same principles apply in terms of how you set it out, how you organise yourself, and the way you should run your folders. Huge thank you again to Fran. Please like to show your appreciation for Fran's work. Leave any comments, and if you haven't already done so, then subscribe to get more support with different history topics and different politics topics as well. Thank you very much for watching.